In the combining tables, normally you might have heard about joining tables, which is very much common in SQL Server, or let's say the operations that we do with the SQL. But the range of commands that we have in SQL Server, it's a lot. Like there are many commands which we can use in the SQL Server. But in this video, we will be covering the joins, union, intersect, and then we have accept. And we will be going through one by one, and we'll see how these commands work and what does they actually do. The first is a join. So join is one of the key features of, let's say, the structured query language. So when we work with the data, we sometimes need to retrieve data from more than two tables, and then for that we can use several, or we have several variations or several ways of retrieving those data from multiple tables and then combining them. But majorly we have inner join, we have left join, right join, we have full outer join, and then we have cross join. Right. So let me go through first what is the inner join. Okay, so in inner join, so this is our table A, right? Table A. Then we have, let's say, table B, right? But normally when we talk about joins, we treat them not on the tabular way, but we mostly treat them like a circle. So say we have table A, and then we have table B, right? And this is the space wherein we can say this is inner join. So when does this happen to be an inner join? So let's say we have couple of columns over here, and one of the column is ID, right? And then here also we have ID column. So when both these IDs from these multiple tables are same, right, then the common data which is over here is basically, will be the result of the inner join. So what I mean to say is, when we have a common data, so let's say we have ID, we have suppose three data over here in this table, and then we have three data in this table. So when the rows matches, or let's say the ID in the table A matches with the ID in the table B, right? So then we have a common data. So let's do it on the SQL side, and let's try to understand what is inner join. Let's do the practical one. So right now we have this table. Let's create a table. So this is one of the table A that I mentioned, right? So let's create this. We are using, so this is use financial data is basically, suppose if we have some other database over here. So when I execute this use financial data, so this will change into a financial data. Basically we are selecting the database. Now let's create a table. So create table A, and then the company stock price. So basically I'm creating a table with the ticker as one of the column, and then the stock price. So let's create this. So the table will be created within this database. Now if I refresh this over here, you will see the table A, right? So here we have column sticker and the stock price. Like I mentioned, the number of characters can only be 10. It's a varchar, and in this scenario it can be null, but generally it should not be null. But just, since we are working on the sample, so we can work on that. Now what I will be doing over here, I'm inserting 4 records. So I'm saying insert into table A company stock prices, and the values will be Yes Bank, and then its price, Idea its price, Zomato its price, and the Paytm, right? Let's execute it. So we have 4 rows affected, and in the similar way, let's create another table. So this is another table, table B. Again, the ticker and the company name are there in this table, and then we have these rows to be inserted. Right now, I'll show you the data as well. Let's say select star from this table, and then select star from this table, right? You can write go, not, it's up to you, but yeah, it's totally up to you. Right, so let's run this. So now if you see over here, we have 2 tables, table A, which is this data. We have 3 columns, or let's say 3 rows, a common rows, or some common data. and then we have one data in the Paytm as a Paytm and PNB. These are two different data, right? So let's try the first query, which is our inner join, right? So we will I'll show you what the inner join does. So we have table A, right? And then we have table B. Let me first show you how it run, and then I will show you how it came. Right. So what it is saying, like I mentioned earlier, we have two tables, table A, table B, and whichever the data is common will be given as an output, right? So in the similar way, we had, let me run all these queries so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so in this scenario, we had yes bank common. So this is table A, this is table B. So whichever is the common one will be coming over here. So idea, and then we have idea. So this query is the query which we created with the help of inner join, right? And then we have Zomato, and in the query we have Zomato. But if you notice, we have Paytm and the PNB. So these columns are not common, or let's say these rows are not common, so that's why the data didn't come. Now let's go back to the query. So what we are doing basically, so I'm saying that I need the ticker from table A, I need the company name from table B, and then stock price from table A. Now let me try to break this query down. So what I'm saying first, I need select ticker, right? Let me just take this table name. Let's from this one. Now what I'm saying is I need ticker, right? And I need the stock price. So these are the two columns that we have in this table, right? Now I'm giving this table name, alias name as T1, or let's say TA, since we are doing that, in that way, TA, right? Now from, let me just break this down. Okay, now what I'm saying is I need the company name as well from the table B, right? But for table B data to have, we need something as a common. So in both these tables, table A and table B, we have ticker as the common data, right? Or let's say the common column. So for that, what we will be doing, I'll be saying I'm doing a inner join, and then I'm saying I need the data from table B, where the table B, this is the alias name on. Now I need the TA dot ticker is equal to TB dot ticker. So herein I'm saying that the TA ticker should be equal to TB ticker. So this ticker should be equal to this ticker, and if both the tickers are common, then I need the ticker, stock price, and the company name, right? So here, but we have not mentioned which. So let me just add. So I'm saying I need the company name as well. But if you notice over here, it's giving you error. Why? Because we have common ticker over here. So both columns or both the tables have ticker as a common, right? So for that, what we can say, I need the ticker from TA, because this is the main table, and then TA from stock price, and then TB dot company name. So when we give the alias, or let's say when we are adding the alias table alias name, then it will tell you that you need this particular column from this particular table. Right, now let's run this. So you have the inner join. Great, hope you understood, because I tried to make it clear as much as possible. Now one thing which I wanted to also add is, here, even though we have written the inner join, but you don't need to write the inner join. So basically inner join is a join, right? You can also call it a join. So the query will be same. So it's up to you whether you want to write inner or not, but it's the same. So inner join or the join is the same thing, right? Now let's go back to left outer join. Okay, now let me just clear this, or let's add one more slide. Okay, left outer join, right? This can also be called left join. You don't need to write the outer, right? You can skip it. Okay, so we have table A, and then we have table B, right? Now the left outer join will bring all those data which are there in table A, so all the data from table A, and the matching data from the table B as well. So basically it will include all the data from table A as well as whichever the data is matching in table B. So this is called left outer join, right? So let's try to do that now. I will take the same query over here. Let me, just for your easiness, let me write this as inner join, right? And now let's work on left outer join. Okay, so this will again be same as we did earlier. So the only difference will be left outer join. Now, left outer join, let's go back to running this query again. So what it will do basically, it will take whole data from the table A, right? And the matching data from table B. So technically, it should have all those Yes Bank, Idea, Zomato, and Paytm. And then it should also have the company name of Yes Bank, Idea, and Zomato. So let's try to run this. So we have Yes Bank, Idea, Zomato, and Paytm from table A. But since this Paytm is not there in table B, so this company name will be blank. Let me run this both the queries for you so that you will be able to understand this. So this was the select query. Let me run this. Now, what I meant to say is left join will have all the data from table A and the respective data from table B, whichever is matching. So for that, even though the Paytm has, it's there in the table A, but it's not there in the table B. So company name will be blank for that, right? Great. Now let's work on right outer join. So like I said, it can also be called left join. Okay. Okay, great. Now left right outer join. Let's just write it right outer join. But before running this query, let's go back to our window. Now right outer join, right? So table A, and then we have table B, right? So in this, what we are saying is all the data from table B will be taken, and then the matching data from table A, right? So this is a right table and this is the left table. Always remember this, because this was something I was not able to understand during my earlier career. So this is a left table and this is the right table. So when we are saying right outer join, basically it says all the data from the right table, and this can also be called right join, right join, right? Okay, now let's go back to the query. Let's run this. So now we have, this was our right table and this is our left table, right? Table A and table B. Now, if you see over here, we have all the data from table B. Yes Bank, Idea, Zomato. Yes Bank, Idea, Zomato. How? Because now we have the company name as well, right? So all the tables or all the rows from table B is over here, and then we have only those one which are matching from table A. So let's rewrite this query, since our ticker and stock price is null. So instead of table B having or being kept at the end, let's take it at the first, because now that's how it looks much better, right? So we have company name, ticker, and the stock price. I mean, it's more of like, let's say, how you want to see the data and understand the data. So when you fetch the information, it's for the end user, it's not about how you fetch the data, but for the end user, it's more like how you are presenting that data. So if you present the data to the end user as ticker as blank, and then stock price as blank, and then the company name as the filled one, so it doesn't really make any sense to the end user. So always try to have, let's say, the first column, or let's say, the data which is not null, to be at the starting. Right. Okay, great. Now we are done with the inner join, left outer join, right out of join, outer join. Now let's go back to what we have is full outer join. Now, full outer join, full outer join is more like a very straightforward. So let's do that as well. Full outer join, and then we have full outer join. So now let's say outer join probably. Yeah. Now for that, let me just give you an example as well. Full outer join, right? Full outer join is basically we have table A and then we have table B, right? Now, what the full outer join says, basically, irrespective of let's say the common values, or let's say common rows, or data, everything will be taken in. It's basically, I would say it's the opposite of inner join, but inner join takes only this data, but the full outer join takes all the data from all the both the tables, or more than two tables that we have. The only difference is, for those data which are not matching, it will show as a null, right? So I will show you that as well. Let's go back. So we have this one. So now if you see, see, we have table A, we have table B, and then it says like we did the full outer join, right? And then we have company name, which is a null over here. So this was coming from Paytm, right? So Paytm is not common in the table B, but it took Paytm as well as a ticker, and then Punjab National Bank as a description. So basically, it's just combining all the rows and all the columns from both the tables. So that's what the full outer join is. Okay, now we have cross join. Let's create one more table for that. So cross join. So we are creating one more table named group numbers. So I'll just refresh this table. So we have group numbers, just to show you what this group numbers table contains. So it basically, it's a select star from, and then we have table 1, 2, 3. Right. So what the group join does. Okay, so okay, let me give you an example. So we have cross join, cross join. Let's say we have a table A, and then we have table, let's say B, right? Uh Now what I would like to have is, let's say we have 3 records over here, and then I have, let's say, 5 records, right? So what it will do, it will combine, let's say, the number of times it has the rows, it will create as much of records. So let's say it will join with this one, it will join with this one. So every record in table A will have 5 records in table B. This is how the query is created, or let's say the data is created. So basically, cross join can be used to create the dummy data as well. So if you have one row in table A, and if you have 3 rows or 4 rows or 5 rows in table B, so it will create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records corresponding to one record in table A, right? So in the same way, if you have one more entry in the table A, so it will create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with one row we have 5 records, with 2 rows we have 10 records now. So that's how, or let's say now if you have one more, let's say 3 rows in your table A, so it will create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So we have 15 rows as an output, right? So let's try to do this as well in the SQL. Let me go down. So this is the query. What it basically does, we have select the column names from table A, and then I'm doing the inner join with the table B, and then the ticker is the common one, right? And then I'm saying, let me just run this so that it will be easier for you to understand. So this is what the inner join does, right? So inner join has all the common rows, and then I'm calling that particular table that we created as a query as tx. So tx is a table name out of this query, right? There is nothing new, everything you already know. Now on that, now I'm saying is I'm cross joining this with the group numbers, right? So this group number, or this group numbers table, is basically working as this table, or let's say the table B over here. And then from this, I'm saying that I need txt ticker, tx company name, tx stock price, and then the cross txt cross dot number, right? So when I run this, I will get ticker, company name, stock price, and the number. So basically, this is a duplicate record now. So now the number of records there in this group number, that many number of records will be created as an output. This is as straightforward as possible. Now for an example, let me just edit this, and I will add one more entry over here. So you should not be doing this, but just for the sake, right? And then if I run this query again, so now it has five records corresponding to each record in the first inner join query, right? So you can create, let's say, dummy data with the help of cross join. Okay, so this is what the join was. Now, joins are really useful, or let's say, being a data analyst or even the data scientist, joins are something we would be using most of the time, right? And with especially multiple joins will be there within the same query, we can use multiple join to create a view. Now, it will become more powerful when you use filters as well, right? But sometimes when we use the joins, the statements, or let's say the query, can become a very complicated, and there sometimes happens to be a situation when you can't even read what the query does, or you can't debug what the query does. So to simplify the situation, sometimes even to improve the performance of the server, we can even use the other query or commands or SQL commands, let's say the union, intersect, and accept commands. So these commands basically, or let's say these join, union, intersect, and the accept command work only with the rows, right? Or let's say all the data sets in these commands should have the same number of columns. So in the join, it was not mandatory to have the same number of columns, even though we did the same, but it's not mandatory. Even no, it's not. We did not do the same thing. So table A had the ticker and the stock price, and the table B had ticker and the company name. But in the join, or sorry, in the union, intersect, and the accept, the number of columns should be same, and even the column names should be same, so that you can do the union part, even though you can work with the alias name in the union. But again, like I said, the data should be, or let's say the number of columns should be same. So let me give you an example what the union does. So union, suppose you have table A and then you have table B, right? So what it will do, it will just combine table A and table B, one below the other. So if you have, let's say, these number of records in table A and these number of records in table B, so it will just combine all this data together. Now, there is something called union all, union all, right? Why the union all is there? Because in union you cannot have duplicate records. So duplicate records cannot be available. But in union all, it will just simply add all the data together, right? So I will show you an example. Let's do that. Okay, so for that, I'm creating a table named table A, and then we are inserting the data into table A, right? And then I'm creating another table with the same structure, so company name and the stock price, which is table B. And then again, I'm inserting the data into table B data as well, or the table as well. Now let me select with the select part, select start from table A, and then let me select star from table B, right? Let me execute this. Oops, 7 table B. I don't want to do much of, let's say, drop table, right? And then table B stocks. Let me drop this one, drop this table, drop table B, and then let's create it again, and then insert the data, right? And then let's run these tables. Okay, so we have two tables, table A, which is Yes Bank, Idea, and Paytm table, the rows, and then we have Yes Bank, Idea, and Zomato in the table B. Now, what the union will do, union will be basically combining these rows together. So it's simply, let's say, union, and then that's it. You will have Idea, Paytm, and Yes Bank, and Zomato. Let me just show you the difference as well, so that it's easier for you to understand. Let me just remove this union, right? And let's run this. So we have table A, right, and table B, and then the query, union query, will combine Yes Bank, Idea, Paytm, Yes Bank, Idea, Paytm, and then whichever is not there in that column, or let's say in the yeah, in the table B will be added over here. Now, one thing you might have noticed, I'm not sure, but the Yes Bank stock price was from the table A is taken. So, for an example, here the data is same, so it doesn't really show you the difference, but yeah, normally it will take the first one. Now, the second difference is, like I mentioned, union all will give you all the data. So right now, if you see, we do not have the Yes Bank from the stock price from table B, right? So now you have Yes Bank from table A, Yes Bank from table B, even though the data is showing, or let's say the stock price is same. Let me, okay, let me just change the data a bit. Stop it. I will not recommend you to do the same thing. 1300 tomato one. So now if you do this, now you have Yes Bank from table A, Yes Bank from table B, you have idea from table A, idea from table B. So this is what the union all does. It will also bring in the duplicate records. And most of the time, I would say union all will be used mostly, but again, it depends on the requirement, what you want. Okay. Now the second one is intersect. So what the intersect does, intersect, right? So you have table A, and then you have table B, right? So in the previous section, we said union will bring all the data, but intersect will bring only those records which are matching. So it's, I would say it's similar to what the inner join does, but it's on the row level, right? So let's do that as well. So let's say instead of union all, I would say intersect, right? So let's run this. Now, why the data is not there? The reason being the rows are not matching. So if I say let's change some data back to what it was earlier. So earlier it was what, 19.80, right? And then idea was 13.35. Right now, if we run the again, so now we have the common data. So basically, it will bring all those records which are matching, even all the rows are matching, right? So this is what the intersect does. Now, last but not the least is the accept. So we have table A, we have table B. So what the accept will do, it will bring all the records which are not matching from table A and table B will be brought in, right? So let's do that as well. So instead of intersect, let me see accept, right? Let's run this. Let's see. So we had Yes Bank, Idea, and Paytm. We had Yes Bank, Idea, and Zomato, right? So in this, what is not matching? So we are taking the table A as the main table, right? And then the Paytm is not matching with Zomato, or let's say this table. So that's why it took out Paytm. Now, if I do the accept thing the other way, so if I'm taking table B stocks and I'm saying accept table A, so it will do the other way, right? So it will bring Zomato in, and then it will skip that data from the table A. So this is how the, let me show you so that it's not confusing for you. Let me take this out, and then I will just remove this. So the difference is this one. So in the table, if we take, let me, okay, so what it does, this is table A, this is table B. Now, if we say table B stocks except table A stocks, so table B stocks except table A stock is saying to give you the not matching records, which is Zomato. Now, if I'm saying table A stocks except table B stocks, it will take only those records from table A which are not matching with table B, right? So that's what the accept does. So this was all about joins, union all. Then we had intersect and the accept. So I hope you learned, or at least I tried to make things clear as much as I can. But if you have any kind of doubt, or let's say if you don't understand or didn't understand anything, please do let me know. I'll be really happy to help you out. Till then, take care. Bye. Have a nice day.